Welcome back to Three at the Back, episode 3, and now there's 3 United fans, and Brandon. Max is staring into the sea in Benidorm, sad about Thomas Tuchel being sacked.
The worst sacking in the competition. I don't get it. I really don't. Why is my opinion? Why would you not sack it into the summer?
I do think we're all in the same scenario though. I think some people seen it coming, but a lot of us seen it as a shock. Like the amount of money that I know they've had new owners, but they've given him a lot of money, and to give him like one game.
You're telling me that Scott Parker and Thomas Tuchel went before Gerrard? We've been insisting for 2 weeks now that Gerrard was going to be the next one to go.
Yeah, this was the point.
Klopp's going to go before Gerrard, isn't he?
I know, and Lampard's still there at Everton as well, and he obviously went for a downer, but it's crazy. I don't know why they've sacked him. I don't get it.
No, this is his Premier League record as Chelsea manager, Thomas Tuchel. This is what they've sacked. They've sacked a man who, in 100 games, had 60 wins, 24 draws, and 16 losses.
I think they've had Potter lined up for a while, personally.
With how fast they've got him.
Yeah.
They have had that up. Yeah, because
you don't sack a manager now, either this early in. You sack him at the start so you can get a new manager with his style of play.
Like you did.
Sign everyone
exactly.
that fits his style of play. Not 5 games in. Now, a new manager's going to come in with these players, not going to have any money no time to sign anyone to try and change everyone to fit their style of play. Because Brighton don't play Chelsea style of play.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it's going to be hard for Chelsea now. And I said this to you, I feel like Chelsea are kind of going in this dip and they are going to struggle a bit. But just going back to Brighton, obviously they've now lost Potter. They're doing good this season. Have you seen the rumours? The rumours that was in the chat.
That Potter's gone, because I just wanted to see what he did with this Brighton start. They've started so well. I really wanted to see.
They could have potentially got top 6, but
But at the end of the day,
they was doing good.
When Chelsea come knocking, the money.
Yeah, you've got to. You can't say no. It's his best move of his career. Is it Chelsea's? I'm not sure. What's your thoughts on the rumours of Lallana being a player manager?
He's awful.
It could just be temporary. It could just be temporary.
I guess it's temporary.
I think it won't last more than a month or two.
I can't believe it. And I know he did his coaching badges at Liverpool, but I just think that's very weird.
I think Brighton are smarter than just going, let's get a Roy Hodgson, let's get a Sam Allardyce in to just temporary. Brighton are smarter than that. They're going to wait until someone good comes on the market. I would argue, and I'm sorry, but this is twice in 2 weeks. Sean Dyche.
Please, get him back in the Prem.
Sam, big Sam Allardyce in that contest.
No, get Sean Dyche
Get Sean back in the Prem. I love it.
I love Sam Allardyce to sack for Brighton. That'd be he'd get him. Oh, mate. Big Sam is the manager for Brighton.
Sean.
Well, we were going to talk this week about the transfer window and how everyone's transfer window went. So what me and Brandon have done is we've ranked everyone's transfer window 1 to 20, and we're just going to talk about that. And obviously Chelsea would be a good point to start because Chelsea's window was
okay.
Interesting. I think they should have signed a striker, and instead they signed Raheem Sterling.
Well, they got Aubameyang at the end, but it was last minute.
Yeah.
So I think
and he only started one game against Zagreb where they lost before Tuchel got sacked.
I said this to you lot in the chat, and I think I said like Chelsea's pull isn't as good anymore. Like United was pulling better than what Chelsea was. Chelsea tried
more money
so
than they
many.
used to have.
Yeah, and Chelsea. I know Chelsea have obviously got new owners, and obviously they had Tuchel at the time, which is you'd think would be a good pull. But I don't know. I don't know why they've not. It's like there's no one wanted to go to him. Like Aubameyang were a last resort.
Underrated opinion. Chelsea's transfer window was actually really good.
Okay,
Aubameyang,
explain.
Koulibaly, Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, they had a good window. I just didn't think they signed in the position they needed, which was a striker until the last minute. And was Aubameyang top of their list, or was he a last resort?
Oh no, it was like Anthony Casemiro. He's a panic buy. Yeah. But the thing is, they are all brilliant players.
Hello everybody, I can't be here this week because I go to Benidorm tomorrow. Today is 6:15 on Saturday. It's a few hours after our win against West Ham, and I'm just going to go over a few bits that I found from the game and a little bit on the transfer deadline day too. We finished the window with Wesley Fofana, Dennis Zakaria from Juve on a loan to buy, and Aubameyang. First of all, Fofana, I think he's a cracking player for sure, and everybody agrees. People saw how good he was at Leicester, even before and after him breaking his leg. There's no doubt he'll continue to be a great player in the Chelsea. I think we saw that today. He knows what it's about. He doesn't have to prove himself. He's already been in the Premier League for long enough. Big question marks yet again from Chelsea though, spending 70+ million on another centre back. I think the reason why the price tag is so high 70 plus million is because he's 21 and people have seen already how really, really good he is. He's definitely going to lock down that centre-back spot for years to come. I think it's both a move that replaces Christensen right now, and it's a move for the future where that spot's going to be held down for the next 5 or 6 years. A lot of Chelsea's moves, Aubameyang aside, have definitely come, I think, for long-term investments. When you look at Cucurella, Fofana, Chukwuemeka, Kasedi, I think like these are players that Todd Bowley's brought in for the future. The next player I'm going to talk about is probably my favourite move actually out of these three, is Denis Zakaria from Juventus. We wanted Edson Alvarez from Ajax instead, but Ajax weren't willing to sell at the time, which is understandable because it was the last day of the window. I believe we're going to go back for him in January, and I think as well with Kante's horrendous injury record, it's a great alternative to have. The last one's Aubameyang. This one it's a transfer I genuinely can't really get behind. He's 33. His last few years in the Premier League were pretty rough. I don't think he suits our style of play. He's got a pretty poor attitude off the pitch. I don't really see what is the reason why we went behind it. I mean, he was under Tuchel at Dortmund, but other than that, I mean, he's a prolific goal scorer. He's clinical. That's the only thing I can see with him. I would have much rather just thrown the bank at somebody like Wilfried Zaha, who was in his prime. You know, he's Premier League proven, he bags goals, he's in his last contract year. If he was going to be, he's linked with a top 6 move every single year without fail. So if he was ever going to leave Palace, I think now is the time. Or even Memphis Depay, who's also from Barcelona, but he's younger, he's also clinical in front of goal. He doesn't press a whole lot, but he's definitely a lot more active than Aubameyang. That being said, though, I think I have to back him. He's a Chelsea player now. He signed the deal. He belongs to us. He's our new number 9, and I think if the wingers and the fullbacks can set up chances for him, there's no doubt he'll put them away. Everybody knows that he can put away chances. He's just I think he's a bit of a lazy player. But it's a recurring theme with Chelsea number 9s being pretty poor. But again, I must wish for this every year. I hope he does break the curse.
Who did you put 20th?
20th, Leicester.
I also put Leicester 20th.
Yeah, I think so. I think we all agree on Leicester because I think, obviously, we know Fofana's gone. But my main point was, I feel like they've not signed anyone in a long time.
Well, the biggest one for me...
They signed 2 players.
Oh, did they?
They signed 2 players. They signed a backup keeper to Danny Ward. And they
because obviously Schmeichel left. This is another point. So Schmeichel went, yeah.
A centre-back from Belgium, a 24-year-old.
Right, okay.
That's what I was saying.
15 mil, I think.
The worst... letting Schmeichel go was...
Well, you got to think Schmeichel and Fofana as well. Like, that's 2 of their best players. Vardy's getting over age now anyway, so to be honest, I said it the other day,
well.
I didn't even realise he still plays, because I don't hear it of him.
Honestly. Letting go of Schmeichel was like...
it's very big. Something's gone off behind the scenes.
It was like a Real Madrid losing Ronaldo type. Yeah. For me, he was that instrumental in the Leicester team.
And I feel like he loved that club as well, so something's got to have gone off. I don't know what.
They never lost their big players like Tielemans, who you would have thought would have been the first ones to go.
This was another one.
But they never, or James Maddison, but they never replaced in the positions they need. They needed, I think, another striker, because Iheanacho had his run of form, but Vardy is getting on.
Yeah.
And Daka never really hit the ground running, so they needed, again, another striker to bring in. And they needed some solid centre-backs. Soyuncu's good, but
he's not.
Fofana.
Yeah, no, I just don't get it. And I think I said it to you. I think I just see Leicester going back down the pecking order, and they'll probably end up back in Championship to carry on.
Here's a question: who goes first then, Gerrard or Brendan Rodgers?
I think Brendan Rodgers would have gone by now if it wasn't for the buyout clause. I just think Leicester can't afford it.
Klopp's going first.
Do you reckon they're short of money?
Klopp goes before
well, this was the point, because I think obviously the Tuchel sacking was a really big shock. I think just from everything we've been through with Klopp, I don't see him getting sacked yet. If we don't get top 4 this season, I can see it, but not right now.
Klopp's won what? A Champions League and a Premier League in 8 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ten Hag's been at United for 8 years. He wins the Premier League and the Champions League. Is that good enough for us?
No, of course not good enough. And I feel like you're in the same position of us. I know he's not done a great lot, and I know he picked us up at a bad time. And don't get me wrong, I feel like we should have done more. But you've got to think, we've been against City. Yeah. City have been out of this world.
Who do you think had the second worst window this season? Because I think we agree.
I think we do agree on this. Wolves. Wolves.
Wolves let 3 of their centre-backs go and only signed 1 replacement. They've let their young striker, who they brought in as an experiment, go out on loan. And okay, they've brought in Gonzalo Guedes and they've brought in Nunes as some attacking options, but I don't think it's helping Leeds.
Yeah, they got Diego Costa.
Well,
yeah, they've just signed Diego
obviously he was on a
Costa.
free, so that puts them a bit up for me and out of the bottom two now.
Unfortunately, we did this before they signed Costa.
Yeah,
'cause
before.
We've been sat ranking these throughout the week.
I think now they would come out the bottom two with Costa, and I do think Wolves are going to do okay now.
Who
When we
you
ask,
put in second bottom then? With the signing of Costa.
Liverpool.
you could put us down there. I mean, the whole Liverpool fan base. Everyone said we needed a midfielder after Ginny went. We've not signed one. We had to loan Arthur because we had to loan him because of that. And it's just like when we got Thiago, he wasn't a replacement for Ginny. He was someone we needed. Ginny went. We haven't replaced him. Yeah. Everyone knows that. Like Ginny was a box-to-box midfielder. We haven't now got. And it proved last night. We can't play Elliot all the time.
All right, let's talk best windows.
Good transfers, yeah.
Who did you put third best?
Third best. I put Spurs.
I put Manchester United.
You put United.
So Logan, tell us what you think of Man United's window.
Panic buy central. Don't get me wrong. Casemiro.
Good players.
Ericsson has been absolutely insane.
From Anthony in his first game as well.
Oh, yeah.
Goal in his debut.
Anthony's brilliant.
He looks amazing.
I don't think he did what he could have done.
No, but it was
no.
still a good start. And I had my doubts because did we need to sign another winger? But we've got one, so at least he had a good debut.
Dubravka, that's a good backup keeper. I think it's.
I still think all I can think about is when Dubravka dropped that goal in the Euros or the World Cup. I can't remember which one it was. That's why I was so sceptical about getting him in.
I think with the United sign, obviously going back to the Anthony thing, and you're saying it's another attacker. It's a good thing. I think it's a good thing because you've got that choice off the bench. If you're playing, for example, Man City, and Man City go 2-0 up, and you need them goals, you can bring people off that bench now. You have that availability where you never had that before.
I don't know. I think we had enough wingers.
You had wingers,
we had Elanga,
but
we had Sancho, we had Rashford
it's
on the left.
like Rashford wasn't the best under the old management. He looks to found himself again now.
Yeah, this
he looks
saying
alive.
last week. I think Rashford should be our starting striker now. He should be playing up top.
I still think Martial is
But this is what I mean. You've got so many choices now.
And Lisandro Martinez, who has been good. It's been good.
You get all these people saying, "Oh, 5'9".
I was one of them. I was one of them at the start.
Like how many? It was Cannavaro, one of the best centre backs. He's 5'9".
He was tiny.
He had a rough 2 games to start with. Let's be honest. But
Baresi as well, who was 5'9", 5'10", something like that.
yeah,
He's quite small.
Then he had Liverpool's attack on rote. Ciazad.
He were amazing. That game against us was unreal.
Bullying, absolutely
And I think-
bullying Jesus.
I think him and what's the left back called again? Malacia. He's a great signing.
I mean, in the Arsenal game, our fullbacks did get caught out quite a lot because Martinelli and Saka are actually they're good players, and I think it's our defence just cleaned up our centre backs. So Martinez and Varane, I think, are the top.
Varane, I'm happy to see Varane. I know I'm a Liverpool fan, but I'm really happy to see Varane finally in that starting 11.
It's finally a partnership that I think I feel safe watching, because watching Maguire and Lindelof, or Maguire and Varane, or Lindelof and Varane, there was always a weak link in that partnership.
It was like last year when we play like you or you play Chelsea and you see the team news, you think, oh, that's not a strong side. Now I look at United and I think the opposite. You've got that old Real Madrid spine through the middle. Obviously, when Ronaldo starts with Casemiro, Varane, and Ronaldo, they know how to play with each other. And I think a spine like that in your team now, it's amazing. You just come off it like a tree, honestly.
Let's talk who I put second, and I don't know who you put second.
I
went for Notts Forest.
I put Forest.
First.
And this
22 signings.
Yeah, this is the only reason.
They've got 2 new starting 11s.
Yeah, but at the same time,
they are campaigning to stay in that Prem after this season. They do not want to go back down.
But look where they are in the league now, and what happens if they stay there? When they go back, if they go back to the Championship, they are screwed because the money they spend
they'll lose
and the wages. Like Lingard's on stupid wages.
Yeah, and he won't stay if they go to the
This
Championship.
is the thing. So don't get me wrong, it's a great thing. I've never seen a Championship side come up and do it. That's what I mean. And I've never seen someone sign so many players. And it's a great thing if they can get them into a team and actually get them working.
I 100% have faith that they're going to get to a point where they finish.
I hope they do.
12th,
I love
13th
that
in
club.
the league
I
this
really hope they do.
But how do you feel about the players that got them out of the Championship into the Premier League, now potentially just becoming obsolete, second or third choice players? I
think some of them will still obviously keep their space for some time, but I do feel really bad on because they tried so hard. Obviously, it's a massive thing coming to Prem. Obviously, everyone knows it's like money oriented and everything nowadays, but I do feel sorry. You've worked that hard. It's one of your biggest steps of your career coming into the Premier League to fight these big teams and like City, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, and you kind of getting booted out because you're boards signed 22 players. I mean, at least some boards doing work because ours isn't.
Yeah, I know you two will have opinions on Dean Henderson as Forest's keeper.
I rate him as a keeper. He's not a United keeper. He's not United standard. But Notts Forest, they've done wonders with him.
Yeah, look at how he played at Sheffield United. He's going to go and do that again for Notts Forest, I think.
One of the signings of the summer has got to be Renan Lodi.
I can't believe that an Atletico Madrid left-back is now playing for Nottingham
I
Forest.
know, he's
crazy.
world-class.
We watched that man
Crazy.
cause havoc against Manchester United in the Champions League last year. I don't know if he got the assist for the goal.
I think he did, yeah.
Oh, well, there you
He was
go.
the one that scored.
There you go. The man that knocked United out of the Champions League is now playing for Nottingham Forest, which is bizarre.
I wanna know how that Gibbs White, or his name is 50 mil. Please tell me.
think he's
I think.
Come on. I mean, what was it, like 42.5?
Wolves will have seen that money come through and gone, yeah,
Yeah, we'll
sure,
try that.
go on. I'm noticing a trend, and I think, again, we're going to agree on who we put top.
See,
We put City top.
I think you
Getting
go
Erling
from
Haaland for that cheap. And I think
We
that's
know
down
we-
to Haaland,
yeah.
him delaying the move and saying, I will stay at Dortmund another year until my clause comes into,
his dad had a big part though. And
yeah,
his
without
agent.
doubt. They've just got a Kanji as well, so they've got another centre back now because Ake had becoming starting. So they've now protected that centre back position a bit more, and they've signed the man that I think is going to win them the league.
Did you see their net spend? Have
No.
you seen it? They, even though the players have signed, they have made money this summer from selling academy players.
Unreal, yeah.
So they've signed like Haaland.
Well, have you
they're
seen?
like 50 mil up.
Have you seen
Yeah, they're
Southampton?
literally like 55
Southampton,
million
I think,
or
have
something.
signed 4 youth products out of City. Southampton have just gone in and raided.
It's crazy, and I think
Man City.
there were 3 of them that sold for a total combined of 15 mil, and then there was 4 of them that sold for like 34 million, something around there. But like that pays for Haaland in its own from academy players.
And then they've got Alvarez as well as another attacking option.
See, that's another thing. Sterling went, so Sterling's gone, Jesus has gone, and look who they've replaced him with. So much cheaper options. Zinchenko's gone. Look who they've replaced him with. Look how cheap he was. Their new left back.
We'll finish this week's episode just having a quick talk about our team's results. So obviously the last game that United played, we beat Arsenal.
You did. What a great result, by the
3-1.
way. What a great result.
Yeah, the first 20 minutes was a little bit shaky. I'm not gonna lie. We get with the Martinelli goal. Our defence was good.
I think we disagree on that because I think it was incredibly soft that got given as a foul.
No,
I think if they didn't score, no one would be talking about it as a foul.
Oh no, I agree with that.
But I'm a United fan, so it was a foul.
No,
Let's be
it is a foul.
If that was Liverpool and Brendan, he'd be saying that was a foul. You've got to back your team. Let's be honest. I think it's because you're so passionate about that your own team that it's going to be a foul.
Yeah, like I totally understand that point of view. I do think it's soft. I wasn't there when I saw it. I wasn't screaming at the TV until they scored from it. That was the only time that I cared about it.
That's the only thing. If he did touch the ball there, it's not a foul. But he's touched all of Eriksen. Yeah. So you've literally got to.
But at the end of the day, I think again we let Arsenal have most of the possession, and we just caught them out. Especially for our last 2 goals, we just caught them out when.
That's the thing. I mean, I know they lost 3-1, but they still didn't look that bad.
No, they look good. They outplayed us.
And that's what made Man United look better because they got a result like they did, and Arsenal still played that well. And I know obviously Arsenal's still top of the league and whatnot, but it's a great result for United, I think, and especially in terms of like morale for the team.
I think
and
it
stuff,
really
it's a
shows
great
that now
result.
beating Liverpool, beating Leicester 1-0,
Yeah,
which
it's massive.
was a really poor game from us, to be honest. We should have capitalised on that and really taken the game to Leicester in the second half. Instead, we sat back and let them attack us.
Obviously, you all know if it's one team obviously I don't like is United, but they're actually coming back in the good play. Obviously, I've loved the last couple of years, and I've rinsed you a lot, and I just feel like now you're finally coming back.
From the game, I noticed that we set up with, yet again, the hybrid 3-4-3/3-5-2. Sterling off the left and Pulisic off the right. I didn't think Pulisic actually had a bad game, to say that he prefers the left side. Definitely in defence, Gallagher would play through the middle to press, but as soon as we was in position, he'd drop into midfield where he's comfortable with. I noticed in the pre-match interviews that Thomas Tuchel decided he'd use a tall back line to deal with the aerial threat of West Ham's long balls over the top, which worked for its intended reasoning, but I mean for the goal that came, I'll discuss soon, it didn't really work to plan. I thought throughout the game, definitely in the first half, he looked so slow offensively, which seems to be a common trend with this 3-5 back formation we've been playing since he's come in. We had no creative midfielder in the team at all. I don't think any of our midfielders have that attribute. there's nobody in our team that can spot the runs of Reece James, Sterling, Chilwell, Pulisic. You know, if you have a player like Kevin De Bruyne, Thiago, Luka Modric, Thomas Muller, somebody that can spot them runs, it opens up an entire different frame of attack. Something that you can definitely pick out and break a low block apart from. I thought defensively looked sound. West Ham, especially from open play, weren't really causing any issues. The back five that started the game of Cucurella off the left, James off the right, Koulibaly, Thiago Silva and Wesley Fofana. I think that's definitely our strongest overall. Another thing I've noticed is Sterling and Pulisic seem to have a pretty good connection when they play with each other. They've got a good awareness of each other off and on the ball. And definitely like linking in and around the box, they can pick each other out, and it's nice to see that chemistry. I'm gonna speak about West Ham's goal now really quick. Yet again another error for Mendy. I feel like I've got deja vu at this point, because I swear to God in the first episode we talked about how poor Mendy's been with decision making, and it just seems like every other game now he seems to have an error in him. I don't really know where it's coming from, and I think it's not ridiculous to question dropping him. And honestly, we spoke about this against Leeds. Every other game he just seems to have a mistake in him. Chelsea fans that have watched us quite a lot will know that Kepa isn't a bad keeper anymore. I understand that Kepa was a bit of a laughingstock under Frank Lampard and Maurizio Sarri. Rightly so, he made a lot of poor decisions, but under Thomas Tuchel, he's become like this new. He's a complete different player now, and I don't think it's a bad idea to at least give him a try in the starting 11 for Premier League games anyway. You can't teach someone not to make an error. It's just in them. So it has to boil down to the player at the end of the day. But I've noticed saying that there was a few reoccurring names there: Jorginho, Mendy. I think these players just their head seems to be in different places during the game. I'm not saying get rid of them, but I am saying that, you know, it's the usual suspects.
Obviously, we had Everton at the weekend. I mean, it's once again, from the get-go, I know it's still something, but we look dreadful.
It was quite an exciting game, though. 4-0.
It was exciting.
Have you seen the SofaScore ratings for Everton?
No.
Every player is under 6 except Pickford, who has a 9.7.
Pickford did have a great game. Yeah, he had a great game. He made some great saves. But at the end of the day, you've got to, as a team, you've got to score past the goalkeeper. They're there to do their job. You've still got to get a way around it.
Well done, Captain Obvious.
So, fuck off. But it's just like, no, it's frustrating. And I think, obviously, Everton is the team I want to beat. But once again, like I said to you, we just don't look right. Our whole team doesn't look right. And obviously, I go back to, obviously, we've had injuries, but I can't blame them all the time. We all watched the game pretty much last night. Look at Gomez. You cannot play. Gomez is literally a Maguire. You cannot play him that regularly. He's been chucked into games because we've got Konate and Matip both injured.
I couldn't have expected Napoli to tear you apart the way they did.
No, I said no. I know he hasn't, and this is why I said. Do you reckon it's because he's not got the right partnership next to him? He's had Matip all last year and Konate. Obviously, when Matip came on, he kind of looked composed, but it was only like 30, 40 minutes or whatever it was. And I don't know, mate. Honestly, it's just our team. I said to you, it's 3-1 from like the get go, and I knew we'd get beat, but not as bad as we did.
And on that depressing note for Brandon, that was episode 3 of Three at the Back. Thank you to Liam and Logan for joining us this week.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate it.
And we'll see you next time.